Tyren, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. You like these early mornings?
Yes, sir. They're good so far. Eat the frog. Just get it out the way.
Tell me about fall camp. What's it been to you? I know Coach Chapel said yesterday it feels like you guys have been here about 4 months, just with all the injuries and the tragedy with Taj. I mean, just how much of a roller coaster has it been for you?
I mean, I think everybody who's usually been or who's been in college already, they kind of know what they're expecting going into a camp or a spring. But no one can ever really account for losing like a teammate abruptly. So I would say that was pretty hard emotionally. But I mean, our main goal this year is to strike the stone and try to stack days. So it all comes down to just trying to get better each and every day. So I mean, that just comes with the process. We know it's going to be a long process, and we've embraced that. So
Tell me about this defense and how much different it is with the scheme and the coaching staff from what you've been used to.
It's not really changed too much. We kind of keep the same scheme, but we got different terminologies, stuff like that. May have guys in different places, but it's pretty familiar. It's not anything different. I would say I feel like me just being in this is just a different whole new set of guys. So I would say building the chemistry with these guys, and it's a lot less experience. So being accountable and us being on the same page is going to be huge.
How much with the new faces do you feel like you've been able to build that camaraderie or chemistry or whatever it's called and rely on the guy next to you?
That's just, you got to give credit to the defensive coaches, coordinators. They've done a good job of bringing everybody in to see the same picture, have everybody's mind on the same goal. So when you got a bunch of guys pushing towards the same goal, it's easy to kind of get them into the, I would say, chemistry, and kind of, not really putting it just like individual play. Like we all understand that in this defense, you have to play a certain role, and in order to play that role, then we'll be successful.
And can you kind of expand on that? Like when you say different roles, or what's your role or the role of the linebackers?
The role of the linebackers, that should be the quarterback of the defense. We have to know in and outs of everything. There's a lot of talking on the back end as well, but as far as lining up, as far as knowing leverage, where you got help, where this guy should be, that should be on the linebackers. 9 times out of 10, if we're not lined up right or if we have a bust, it's probably on the linebackers. We probably didn't make the right call. So I would say that's huge on the linebacker shoulders. So making sure the defense is structured.
Coach Chadwell mentioned how one of your biggest strengths is being able to stay calm under any circumstances. Is that something that's kind of developed over the years, or is it something you've kind of always had naturally?
I would say it's just something that my grandfather was instilling in me. Thomas Hood, he just always reminded me that this was a game and that I was playing for Jesus. So, I mean, it's not necessarily like I wouldn't be nervous. It was just like I knew who I was doing it for. So I would say, I mean, you can still have those moments of where you're kind of like, I would say like everywhere, but you just have to kind of think back to why you're doing it and who you're doing it for, and that'll really calm you down.
You've been in this program for a while now. What gets you excited about this specific group of guys this year?
I mean, I've really been excited for every year, but this year I would say personally, some of the guys last year here playing football together, and not to rain too much on the Boyd situation, but that just hit us different to where we understand that each moment out here is just very precious, and you can't take a day for granted. You can't take a practice for granted. And knowing that the game is less than 10 days away, I think we're starting to understand that, and just knowing that every little step we have to be ready and be accountable to each other.
Tyren, talk just a little bit about, I mean, you guys are going to be playing a really important game, and,
yes, sir.
And I know their hearts are probably going to be heavy, but how therapeutic is that going to be for you guys to kind of go out there and, maybe play for Taj?
I would say it's just everybody getting back to the main reason of why we got here, why we started this, why we were grinding so hard during the summer, during the camp, why we climbed the mountain. It just all goes back to the main goal, the main reason for this season, and that was to play as hard as we can, as long as we can with each other, and to glorify God while we do it. So we will miss Taj, and I didn't really want to rain too much on that, but I feel like we know that our main reason is to play together and try to bring honor to God while we do it. So, yes, sir.
I asked Quentin this question, but I'm just curious to see what you have to say. But
Yes, sir.
what do you think is the identity of this team so far? Do you have to have that game to kind of see what you guys have to be able to kind of say that?
Yeah, I always I like to see how the first game goes. I believe Quentin was really honest about that. Is because everybody's fired up for the first game, which is awesome. But I think you don't really know who you're with until you go through like a hardship or something challenging. So it'll be big, pivotal to see who's really bought in, and I'm excited. So
Has it been tough too going against that offense, knowing that there's a good chance you're not going to see a lot of that stuff during the season?
Yes, sir. I would say that our offense is quite interesting. There was plenty of times us and the guys are just like staying after and we're having a film session and we just kind of look at each other and we're like, well, I don't know, because it's really complicated. A lot of window dressing, but I'm kind of excited to see how they do against someone else and how we do against an offense who might not do as much motions and window dressing. So.
Yeah, are you excited to prepare for another team now?
Oh, yes, of course. And I'm honestly excited that the quarterback be live. So that's what I'm looking more forward to, is a live game.